Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan, and in today's video we're going to go over how many properties does it take for you to retire. Now, for me, it's going to be a different number than yours, and it's going to be the different numbers than your neighbors. It's going to be up to you. It's going to be up to your goals. It's going to be up to your future expenses that you're going to be able to determine this. So the first thing you need to do is just start sitting down with yourself, sitting down with your partner, and going over what is going to be your goals in the future. Why are you doing this? So whether it's going to be for traveling, whether it's going to be to spend more time with the family. And this is going to change your budget, of course, because you're going to be traveling to more expensive places, then you're going to need more money. So you need to sit down and start going over what these goals are going to be. And the thing about knowing what your goals are going to be is it's going to give you a purpose. So now you're not only doing this for the numbers, but you're actually doing this for why, right? And this is going to be the actual reason why you want to retire. And it's going to give you the motivation you're going to need on a daily basis to get out there and do what you need to do. Now, I was able to reach financial independence through rental properties in 5 years. And it could be different for everyone, right? It could be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. But the key is that usually it takes anywhere from 20 to 40 years to retire. And going through rental properties, it gives you the option to be able to reach this goal much sooner. So as you go, write your goals down, start thinking how much you're going to need to be able to get this. Now, the second thing you're going to need for that number is going to be your budget. And for this, you need data. And to get the data, one of the best things you could do is probably sign up for mint.com, or there's other services. Maybe your bank provides something that tells you how much money you're spending on a monthly basis. And you want to do this with yourself or with your partner, because this is going to allow you to see what's the picture of your expenses on a monthly basis. Right. And you want to probably do this for 2-3 months, because there's going to be months where you might be a little off. But if you do this 2-3 months, you're going to be able to see the whole picture of how much your expenses or average expenses are on a monthly basis and how much money you need. For this scenario, since everybody's goal is going to be different, we're going to put a budget of $70,000. $70,000 is around the average salary here in the United States. And it's anywhere from 65 to 70. So we're just going to make it easy and say $70,000. So most of the time we have pensions, or we have our 401k that we're depending on, and it's going to take a big amount of money to be able to get there. So the first thing you need to know, what is the percentage that you need to be able to get to the number? So now we know that $70,000 is the number. And let's say the average return in the market is anywhere from 6 to 10%. So if you're getting 10%, and you want $70,000, it means you need $700,000 to get $70,000 a year, right? So now we know that we need at least 10%. So how can we get a 10% return? And that's going to be the goal as you're going into property. So now you're saying, okay, I'm gonna want at least 10%, or anywhere from 6 to 10% each time I'm investing in a property. So now, how do we get there in real estate? Okay, so first, how do we buy our first home? How do we get to our first home? And one thing I recommend is doing house hacking. This is how I first started. And I actually created a video on this that I'm going to link in the description. But house hacking is a strategy that you could use to be able to reduce your expenses. So you're either buying a 2 to 4 unit family as your first time home, and you're going to be living in one of the units and renting the others. Now, you might be in a situation where you're not making money from this 4 units yet, or 3 units, or 2 units, but you still going to reduce your expenses on a monthly basis. And this is your highest expense. Now, not only are you going to be reducing your expense, but now you're going to be able to hopefully save that money for your next down payment. And when you do this, one of the things you want to make sure you do is you want to buy a property that needs a little bit of work. It might need cosmetic work, where you're going to be changing the cabinets, or you're going to be changing the tile, where you're going to be doing a little bit of paint. And this is going to allow you to bring the value of the property up. And what this is going to do is going to allow you to potentially take out some of the equity of the home. And then this is going to fast forward the amount of cash you have to be able to put down into your next property. So let's just put as simple numbers. And let's say you bought a property at $100,000, right? And you put, in this scenario, let's say you put $20,000 down, 20% down. You owe $80,000. Now, let's say you put $20,000 to fix the kitchen cabinets. You did some tiling, you did some painting, and some other issues that the house might have had. Now you're all in at $120,000, but your loan is $80,000, right? It's an $80,000 loan because you put 20% down. So you owe $80,000. You have $20,000 that you put down, and now you go back to the bank. Can you come back and appraise the house? I want to refinance the home. So if the bank says the house is worth $175,000, you could take out about 80% of the equity of the home. And in this case, it's $140,000. Now, remember, your loan was $80,000. You put $20,000 down for a deposit, and you put $20,000 down to fix it. So you're 120, but you're getting back 140. So now you have an additional $20,000. So you have your $20,000 that you put down. You have your $20,000 you put down to fix a property, and now you have another $20,000 down, and that makes it $60,000 to potentially go and buy your next property. And this method is called BRRR. You're buying, you're rehabbing, you're refinancing, and then you're going to repeat. So now you go on to the next step. So before doing that, what you want to do is you want to make sure you understand cash flow. I created a video that allows you to understand how cash flow works. And this is just knowing the gross income of a property, right? The rentals, how much money is coming in from that rental property, minus your expenses on that property. And that's going to give you your cash flow. And that cash flow is going to be the money that you're going to be making on a monthly basis from that rental property. So now as you start evaluating the properties, you start understanding, okay, this is how much money this is going to make. So if you have $60,000 in your hand, your goal is going to be to make 6 to 10%, right? And again, remember, we're going to be looking into a property that's, again, distressed and needs work. And this is a strategy I kept on doing over and over again for the last 5 years. I was able to find properties that needed work. I was able to fix the properties. I then found renters to rent the home. And then I went back to the bank and said, okay, can we refinance this home? And potentially at the very minimum, hopefully take out the cash that I invested, which is my down payment. And this is what you're going to keep on repeating over and over again. And again, learning the cash flow of the property is going to allow you to know what the number is. And now you know you want to get to $70,000 a year. So let's say you're making $500 per property. That means you need 11, 12 properties that give you $500 a month. This gives you about $5,500 to $6,000 a month. And that's going to be your $70,000 a year. So now you know what your goal is. It's going to be to get 12 properties that make $500 a month. And this number is going to be up to you. You have to put your pen and pencil together and know what your budget is, know what your goals are, and then start learning about cash flow, start learning about properties, and start learning about adding value. I'm going to create more videos that allow you to learn about this, but now you have the basic understanding of what it takes to get to your number. So in this instance, we said our number was going to be 12 properties. So now you're going to know how many properties it takes. You know you're going to need to start either house hacking, you need to BRRR, and you need to know your cash flow. So those are 3 things you're going to need to be able to get to this. And it's going to be a marathon. It's not going to be a sprint, right? You need to learn these different strategies and what's going to be the best strategies for you to be able to get to your goals. So let me hear in the comments. I want to know what your goals are. What is going to be your numbers? How many properties do you need after you put a pen and pencil down to get to your number? Please like, please share, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.